Stop! Hey YouTube, it's Meaning from Vance Tactical. Today, I want to talk to you about the Glock 19. Alright, so today I'm going to answer 5 questions to let you know how I led to choosing the Glock 19. So, this was the first gun I ever owned, and this video is really for people, first-time gun owners, but it could also be informational for those of you who've owned a gun before and want to know why I chose the Glock 19. So, first question, why should you own a firearm? And I know a lot of people out there are going to say, oh, it's your Second Amendment right. If you're not exercising your rights, you're going to lose them. Yada, yada, yada. You hear people, if you don't own a gun, you're as wrong as dick cancer. That's one of my favorites. But the truth of the matter is, signs and laws don't stop bad people with guns. The only thing that stops bad people with guns is good people with guns. Alright, so that is why you should own a firearm. Now, why should you own a handgun? This is question number 2. A handgun is not the most effective stopper. Alright, rifles, shotguns, much more effective at stopping and killing people. However, rifles and shotguns are much harder to conceal and carry on you every day, especially in the society we live in today. Now, a couple hundred years ago, you could strap a rifle on your back and go walking through town and nobody asked any questions. These days, you would get funny looks doing that. Not that it's illegal, but you don't fit in as well and you're kind of a target. People know you have a gun. So handguns are great for concealing because, just as I showed at the beginning of this video, you can have it on you at all the times and nobody will know. That's why handguns are good. What's the best gun to have? The one that you're willing to carry all day, everywhere you go. So, handguns. Alright. What caliber handgun should you get? Now this is a huge debate we could go on all day long. I chose 9mm for one big reason, and that was cost. It is cheaper to shoot 9mm than 45. When I first bought this handgun, I was in college, and it was cheaper to buy 9mm than 45, almost half the price. So I could shoot 200 rounds through this of practice, that it would cost me the same amount to buy 100 rounds of 45. 40 is still more expensive than 9mm, and 9mm, 40, 45, 10mm. 9mm is the smallest I would go. You don't want a 38 or anything like that, or a 380. So 9mm, very cost effective, still will put a decent sized hole. It's a 30 caliber hole in a person. Handguns are not good stoppers. So even a 45 hollow point is not a good stopper. Alright? So, you're arguing such a minute difference here, but the cost difference is a big time difference. This is half the price to shoot as a 45. Alright, so then we're starting to get more specific now. We've chosen you should own a gun. If you want to feel safe, you want to protect your friends, your family, your property, you need a gun. We've chosen handgun. It's easy to carry on you all the time. You can have it next to you, next to your bed. You can have it on your hip while you're at work or out in public, at the movie theater, whatever. We've chosen 9mm because you can get more practice with a 9mm. You can go out there and fire more rounds than you could with a 45 or a 40. So now we've decided we want a 9mm handgun. Well, what brand should we get? And I chose a Glock. Glock 19. Glock has 3 safeties in it, and that's what I always hear is Glocks aren't very safe. You hear these horror stories, Glocks are going to go off on their own because there's no thumb safety on it. Well, Glocks have 3 safeties. Alright, the first one's the trigger safety. As you look in here, there's an extra piece in the trigger so that the trigger will not be pulled without your finger being all the way across it. I'm going to bring some snap caps here to show you. Alright, so trigger will not pull, alright, but you want to put your finger all the way across it here. You got to, just a little side here, it won't pull, but when you put your finger all the way across it and you really want to pull the trigger, now it'll go off. Alright, so that's safety number 1. Safety number 2 is an internal safety here. So I'm going to have to break it down real quick. Alright, so it's real greased up. But as you look in here, this is the firing pin right here. This is what goes forward and it'll strike the bullet in here. Alright, so when it's pulled back, when you cock it, and it is pulled back right now, this button in here will not let the firing pin come forward until it is ready to come forward. See, I can pull it back. I don't know if you can see this. You hear it click. Until I press this button here, it will not come forward until I press the button, and then it will come forward. Alright? So that's a big time safety for a couple reasons. One, you're not going to accidentally have the firing pin go forward for any reason. It's locked back. And 2, it makes them very safe to drop, actually. So you can drop this thing and the firing pin will not come forward and strike the bullet. Older guns, like the 1911s when they first came out and stuff, and a lot of guns still today have a loose firing pin. Alright, and the whole idea is the firing pin is just in there, and when the hammer hits it, whack, it knocks it forward, and the bullet goes off. This, when you cock the gun back and you reset the trigger, it locks the firing pin back. Alright, so at that point, the firing pin is not jiggling around, and if I drop it even straight down on its nose, that firing pin will not fall forward and it will not strike the bullet. So you can take this, load it up, put one in the chamber, and throw it at a brick wall, and it's not going to go off. Alright, so that's a great thing about Glocks. They're actually very safe. Now when you load it, snap caps again, when you load it, and you keep it on you, one in the chamber, when you pull that trigger, it will go bang. But that's exactly why they're safe. 2 reasons now. 1, they won't go off unless you intend them to. And 2, when you need them to go off, you don't need to worry about a thumb safety. All you need to do is worry about pointing that gun at the bad guy and taking care of business. Alright, so that's why I chose a Glock. So that was answer 4. So now we've chosen we need a gun, we need a handgun, we need a 9mm, we need a Glock. Well, there's 4 different models, I believe, right now that are 9mm Glocks. There's the 17, the 19, I believe it's the 26 and the 43. 17 was the full size. 19 was the compact, 26 subcompact, and the 43 is their, most Glocks have a double stack magazine, so there's a bullet stacked on each side. The 43 is the thin single stack, kind of like the 1911s have, so it holds less bullets, but it's also thinner. Now, when you're concealing a handgun, the barrel is not hard to conceal. It will follow the contours of your body. It will be on your side, and that's not the hard part to conceal. The hard part to conceal is actually the handle here. So, that being said, you don't want to buy the shortest handle they have. You get the Glock 26, it's much shorter than this, because those are very hard to control. When you're only holding the gun with 2 or 3 fingers, it's hard to control. Oh, well, I'll just get the magazine extension. Well, now it's just as long as a 19. So why'd you get the extension? Alright, so you want to get a gun that fits your hand, that your hand can cover all of the grip. Alright, and it's not hanging off. You can see that it's right there at the bottom of my hand. Alright, so I can still get full control of this weapon, but at the same time it's not more than I need. You see a lot of guys with 45s and their big speed guns and stuff, and they've got that big old thing hanging out the bottom. Well, that's fine if all you're going to do is take it to the range or keep it next to your bed. But if you're trying to conceal it, you need something that's smaller. Just big enough for you to hold and no bigger. So that's why I chose the 19 over the 17. Another reason I chose 9mm over 45 is you can hold more bullets in a gun. And so 19, I still got 15 plus 1. I don't know why anybody ever says plus 1. I never put 16 shots in there. It's just too big of a hassle to take the magazine back out and put another one in there. So I got 15 shots in it any given day. But that's why own a gun. If you don't own a gun, you're a victim. Maybe not yet, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year. And if you're not a victim, you may be a helpless bystander watching somebody else get shot. Alright? So don't be a bystander, don't be a victim, be a good guy with a gun. Alright, so get you a firearm, get you a handgun. I'm not saying rifles aren't good, I'm not saying you shouldn't own a rifle. I own more than one rifle, but if it's the first gun you're getting, get a handgun. Alright, number 3, 9mm for your first gun, do it. Get used to shooting it. Get some practice, put 1,000 rounds through the gun, then say, okay, maybe I want a 40 or a 45, and go get you a bigger caliber, because now you know how to shoot. Alright, get a Glock. They're safe. They're unbelievably reliable. These things will shoot through anything. I've never had a malfunction on this gun that I didn't cause. Everything that I've ever had a malfunction for was user error. It was not because of this firearm. Alright, get a Glock, and then get a Glock model that fits your hand. I'm 5'9", 185, Glock 19 fits me perfectly. Alright, if you got a smaller kid, get them a 43 or a 26 if they're just starting out. If you're a bigger guy, over 6 foot, I got a friend who's about 6'3", Glock 17 fits perfect in his hand. But he's a bigger guy, he can still conceal a Glock 17 no problem. So, that's why I chose the Glock 19. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like it, subscribe to the channel. We got more videos coming out every couple of weeks. And remember, people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Thanks for watching.
Oh, you got cover. It came back. Good job.
There you go. Like when you get on the supine. Yeah.
User error. Have a great day, YouTube.